What did he bring off the bench, and how impressed have you been with his performance to start the year?
Um, well, first off, the scoring aspect, that's normal. That's who he is. But look at his 6 assists, the way he was defending. He was a plus 20 off the bench. Like he's been a great defender for us ever since before I've been able to ever since I've been here, and even now, just continuing to do the little things necessary. And every night's gonna be something different, and he continues to provide that for us. So when you have moments where, yeah, DG gets out, gets in foul trouble, different things. You're able to throw a guy in that knows what he's doing, able to defend, can score, can be on the ball, off the ball, and do all the little things, and it gives us a joke for sure.
I don't know if you know this already, but the Celtics lost, so you guys are at the top of the Eastern Conference. What does that feel like for you guys? One and two, obviously it's early, but how can you build on the momentum you've already started with?
I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. It don't really mean anything. I think the goal is just to continue to play good basketball and build good habits. Um, it's great that we're learning these in wins, and I've said this to you before. It's always great to learn through victory. And we're just continuing to play good basketball. I think the biggest thing is just continue to build. And there are things, I think Jay just said it, like there are things that we can clean up, get better at. There's just a lot of little things that we can continue to build upon. And we're playing good basketball, and I said it in Washington, like, this is the test, but can we consistently do it? My challenge to everybody after the first quarter was like, are we going to do this for 3 quarters, 3 more quarters? And then now the challenge is, are we going to do it Friday? And after Friday, we're going to do it on Saturday. And if we don't do it one of those days, we're going to continue to, just continuing to be that team. And that's ultimately, the mindset. Doesn't matter what place we're in right now. I think the biggest thing is just continuing to play good basketball on both ends of the floor.
Mike.
Jared's too humble to acknowledge this, but he has as many missed shots as he has blocks in the first 5 games, which is silly. He's got 9 misses in 5 games, Donovan. From a guard perspective, it's crazy. I mean, it's a crazy number. But what does it do from your perspective to have a big playing alongside you that, if I dump it off to Jarrett, it's going in? Like, to have the confidence that it's the right play almost every time.
Yeah, I mean, when in doubt, right? Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of, he's special, man. We talk about myself, we talk about DG, we talk about Ev, but for a guy like him to be as productive, should have been an all-star last year, to be as productive as he is, as quiet as he is, doesn't ask for much, doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, that's hard to find in this league. He's in all-star talent, all-NBA talent, and all defensive talent, and I think for him, there are going to be nights where he's going to not do as much for us because we have a lot, around us, obviously, but he's okay with that, and he's okay when his number's called to continue to be that. And for him, it's just fantastic to see. I love him. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody sees and knows that, but he's a guy that just, when you have a guy that's that selfless and just committed to do the little things that don't necessarily get talked about, unless you have 20 and 17, that's when we talk about it, but people don't really talk about it. That's hard to find in this league, and to have a guy like that on our group who just is out there doing whatever it takes, that's big time.
Thank you.
Ryan.
In this offense, aside from the fact that you guys are just shooting the ball really well, what do you feel is working offensively?
I think movement. I think being able to get off the ball. Myself and DG, and I don't mean like talk about myself in this regard, but like just being able to be selfless. All right, getting to the corners. Like we joke about it. We'll probably joke about it all year, but like that's huge because now defenses have to kind of search what's going on. Now you have guys who are continually making plays. You got Evan stepping up. You got Sam Merrill. You got Dean Wade. You got Karras, and obviously we got Max coming back when he comes back. So I think for us, just being so unpredictable, I think that's what's really the key to our success. You know what I mean? And it's not easy to do. It's easy to fall back into those habits when you're tired. You're in a back-to-back. That's in a rough game. Teams are physical. And that's what I mean when I say, can we continuously do it? And we've shown that we continue to do it, but it's been 5 games. You know what I mean? Like, can we consistently be that group? But that's what's been, our success.
Spencer Davies, Kaz on his side. Non-locker room answer. What is 20 more shots than the other team indicative of with this offense?
We're getting good looks. Guys, we're pushing the pace. We're doing things. We're getting shots early in the shot clock. I think the first quarter or first half, whatever it was, like a lot of our shots were like in the first 11 seconds. You know what I mean? Like when you play like that, obviously it's tough to play unless like Indiana. Like, it's tough to play like that for 4 quarters. But like when you're doing stuff like that And that's what I mean by being selfless. It's not just myself. It's not just DG bringing the ball up. Like whoever gets it, we're gone. You know, you're making plays for others, and it's the next action, and then getting a shot up. Now we're offensive rebound and getting in there, creating another shot. Like those are the plays that, and when you come to a playoff game, if you get 20 more shots than the next team, like that's huge in a playoff game. So those are the things that, you know, we're really emphasizing, continue to push the pace and getting to our offense in quicker ways.
No, I want to follow up on that because it seems like there's a lot of balance in the way that you guys have your shot attempts. Your averages so far are very close, like probably about 16, 17 shots a game for you, and then 14, 11. Like it just seems like there's a lot of balance as far as who's taking shots and when people are taking shots.
Yeah, I mean, it's just being unpredictable. You know what I mean? I think that's was the mindset coming in. You know, when we added Kenny as our coach, just making it. It's you know, it's free flowing offense. It reminds me of my time in Utah. You know, where it's kind of like, you know, it's Mike, it's Boyan, it's Joe Ingles, it's Royce, it's JC, it's myself, it's Rudy. Like, you know, you just so many different ways. It's Boyan. Like, you're finding that within this group, guys can, you know, one, do a lot. You know, a lot more than I think they've shown in past years. And I think you're also seeing development and growth, you know, in Darius and Evan and Dean, like, you know, and Isaac. You're starting to see that growth. And like my biggest thing was always like, you know, it's you're going to have to go through things, you know, like we talked about it after the Knicks game. Like, we got offensive rebounded that whole series. We come back and battle it back in the second half. Like, you go through things to get to things, you know what I'm saying? So that's what you're seeing. You know, guys are starting to learn more, develop more. We're also starting to figure things out together as a group. So it's been great.
Last one. Donovan, you know, a night like tonight probably brings out a different level of like competitive juice for you, in that LeBron's in the building, right? I know you guys are your colleagues, and yet for the city of Cleveland, that was the face of the franchise, and now you're the face of the franchise. And it felt like in the first quarter that there was this time where, you know, you had a couple stretches down the floor where it was you igniting the offense, hitting a couple of big shots. Can you give people a little bit of an idea of what your competitive edge looks like when you're playing on a stage like that, and by the way, playing against the guy that this city, you know, rallied around for so long?
Yeah, I mean, you got to always show respect to the guy that's brought the organization its only championship. You know, it's no secret. But you, at the end of the day, as a competitor, you want to win. I'm sure he'd say the same thing. He wants to come back and probably win by 40 every time he comes here. Like, you know what I mean? That's why we play this game. Those moments, you hear about it, you talk about it. It is, you know, it's history. Like, what he did was historic. I was a fan of it. Like, you know, I mean, I was watching it. So, like, yeah, you have that, you know, that fire, I guess you say, but also just like, man, like, who wouldn't want to compete, you know, with the whole, basically what you just said, who wouldn't want to compete in that environment? Who wouldn't want to come out and, you know, I mean, yeah, ideally I was on fire to start the game, kind of fell off as the game went on. Would I've liked to keep going at that rate for sure, but like that's like that's just one of those things where you have basketball, the game, and then you also have just, you know, myself just being the child in me, you know, understanding that how historic these moments are, you know, and obviously being a part of that and being, you know, the new face here, like you want to be able to have that feeling. You want to be able, I want to have that parade outside the arena. You want to have those moments. You know, it's definitely an ultimate respect, you know, because like I said, it's the only first championship in 50 something years. Like, you want to be the next one, you know, but those are those moments you don't forget, and you really relish. And obviously it's a long season, but, you know, I feel like the ultimate respect to a guy like that is to continue to push and kind of go at it, because I know for sure he's walking in trying to do the same thing. You know what I mean? So it's those moments are special. It's great. I'm just great to be a part of it.